What time is it? Game time! Woo!
If you're sick of the mainstream sports outlets, well, so was I. So I started my own show. I'm Shane Larson, and this is the Game Time Guru. It's different than other talk shows. I'm providing a panoramic view on sports so you can see them through a different lens. So buckle up, and let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome out to this bonus episode of the Game Time Guru podcast. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys being subscribers. If you're a new subscriber to the show, welcome aboard. I appreciate you. I will be dropping out bonus episodes from time to time, either once a week or every other week or so. So these are the ones I don't typically push on social media. They're only available to those who have subscribed to the show, and you'll get the notification that the new episode has come out. So I appreciate you guys subscribing and supporting me. If you haven't done so already, I would appreciate it if you could just scroll on down and give me a review for the show. We've had some amazing reviews so far, and it's just really helpful to have reviews, even if it's just like a one-sentence review and a rating. Just scroll down and leave me a review, because that's how I get my feedback, and it helps the show and its growth as well. So thank you so much. Guys, today I want to talk about the NBA Finals. We've got those coming up tomorrow with the Raptors taking on the Warriors. First things first, I had forgotten that the Raptors had home court advantage. And the way I found out about this was I was reading through ESPN updates, and they said Kevin Durant won't be available. He won't play game one, but he will travel with the team to Toronto. So in my head, I had assumed that the Warriors had home court advantage, right? Because all through the Eastern Conference Finals, I knew that if Milwaukee won, they'd have home court advantage, but no one talked about the Raptors having home court advantage. I felt like nobody talked about it. So I was like, cool, what does that mean? Kevin Durant won't play game one, but he will travel with them to Toronto. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, does that mean that he's going to he's going to be out game two and he's questionable for game 3 and 4 in Toronto? Like, that's what I kept thinking. And then it hit me. And I was like, dude, I've got to go check ESPN.com and check it, because I had just gotten the notification on my phone for that from ESPN. So I go to ESPN.com and I'm checking the game, and I was like, holy crud. I did not realize that I did not realize that the Raptors had a better record than the Warriors. I didn't know that. So I was like, holy cow. Now, with that being said, obviously Vegas and the betting public believes that, regardless of home court advantage, the Warriors are a very, very superior team, right? It's a highly superior team to the Raptors. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited to watch this matchup. I really am. I think that the Raptors are better than I thought they were. They are a team that's deeper than I thought they were. See, when we were watching the Eastern Conference Finals, I was thinking, I even said it to my buddy, I was like, man, I don't know anymore. Like, I chose the Raptors to win the East and make it to the finals, but I don't know if they'd be able to even match the Warriors at all. I think the Bucks had a chance with their length. But after watching the Eastern Conference Finals and seeing how well the Raptors play together, I don't know. They might have a shot. And with Kawhi Leonard, let's not forget, Kawhi Leonard, he is a good player. He's arguably the best player at his position. I mean, you got Kevin Durant and LeBron James, but just 2 years ago, he was a top 3 player in the position, and people forget that so often. Like, they forget that he was that good just 2 years ago. And they forget that he was leading his Spurs to a 21-point lead in the third quarter before he landed on Zaza Pachulia's foot in the third quarter, at which point the Spurs ended up giving up that lead and got destroyed the rest of the series, because that changed the entire series, right? Kawhi was destroying the Warriors. And that was arguably a worse team than the Raptors. And before you jump on me right now and be like, Shane, you're an idiot, the Spurs were a good team. Remember, when Kawhi went down, that team was built around Kawhi. And so when Kawhi went down, they literally had nobody on that team that could create their own shot. They were trying to run the offense through their post, and they couldn't do it. It was not working. And so they had nobody who could create their own shots, hence the reason they lost that series. And they didn't just lose it, they got destroyed in that series after Kawhi went down. The Raptors have some shot creators. Lowry's there. Van Fleet's been playing out of his mind since his child was born. Siakam can play. Gasol can go off at any given time. He's got some experience. He's a good big man. They've got some depth there, guys. And so, Danny Green can shoot. And heck, if it comes to it, Jeremy Lin could get in the game and come give you some minutes. You know what I mean? So they've got guys that can create for themselves and run the offense. So they're a little bit, in my opinion, they're a more talented team than the Spurs were when the Spurs were playing the Warriors. So that is what gives me a little bit of hope that the Raptors can at least make it an exciting series to watch. Now, this is one thing I've realized is like the media takes stats. We have stat watchers everywhere, like just stat watchers, and people who look at the final results, like the Western Conference Finals, for instance, a sweep. Warriors beat the Blazers. Oh, they destroyed the Blazers. No, in reality, that series was a lot closer than a 4-0 sweep. Why do I say that? Because literally in every single game of that series, the Blazers had a chance. In 3 of the games, they had a 17-point lead. The Blazers did, okay? 3 of them. So that shows that the Blazers were just as talented, and they were going at it. But the Warriors went on the runs at the right time. The Warriors were able to, capitalize, and they're a good, experienced team. And they made their runs, and they ended up, finishing off the game. But that series was much more competitive than what a 4-0 sweep would typically tell you. So I'm hoping that the Raptors can make it a series. I hope that they can do what the Blazers did and be in each game. I hope that they can, at least have a shot at it and be in striking distance in the games. So I think they can. And this is why I think just the fact that they're even in this position to be able to play for a title, which is the first time in 24 years, after 24 seasons of just disappointment, and they're trying to find the right pieces. Their front office is trying to do all the right things. Their fan base is trying. They're excited. They're a passionate fan base. After all this time of them trying to do the right things, they finally made the finals. Okay? This is why I think they won the trade, regardless if they win or not. When the season started, I had originally chosen the Raptors to win the East because I thought after last season, the Raptors would have a really good shot at winning the East with LeBron out because they were playing well. Like, they played well with DeRozan. They had a different style of basketball with DeRozan playing. But, they traded for Kawhi. They got that trade for Kawhi, and obviously he's an elite player. They changed their offense around a little bit, but they became better. And I thought, even though, I'm not stupid. I know it's a 1-year rental. I know that whole thing. We're all aware of that as sports fans. Like, Kawhi's going to go there, and it's basically a 1-year rental. You don't know if he's going to stay or not. So it's stupid to trade your franchise player for him. And I disagree. I think it was a smart move, and I've said this from the beginning, because even if it is a 1-year rental, let's say they don't win, and he decides to leave. Well, right there, your franchise already accomplished what they hadn't been able to do in 24 seasons. They've already accomplished what they set out to do, and that was to make the NBA Finals. And while I still thought they could probably get through the East before the season started, watching how the East had evolved throughout this year especially, they may have had a very difficult time trying to get past Philadelphia. Heck, they might have had there were some good teams. Philadelphia, Milwaukee, that would have been tough. Not saying they couldn't have done it, but it would have been tough. It really would have been. But what I'm saying is, the thing is you can't continuously do the same thing over and over and over expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. And that's essentially what was happening with the Raptors. Now, obviously, you have to give it time to grow, right? You have to give your organization time to evolve, but you usually have like a 3-year window in the NBA to have success. And so it's like, trust the process, and like let it evolve. Well, the problem is the Raptors did that. They gave it years and years, and they were letting DeRozan lead it, and he was the captain of the ship, and it just wasn't working. And so I do find it unfortunate for DeRozan that it was the year that LeBron goes out that he gets traded, because this was kind of like, okay, we've evolved, our team's gotten so much better, now it's our time to ride and shine, and he got traded. But at the same time, I feel like the trade is a win for the Raptors because they got a better player, arguably the best two-way player in the world, and they've made the NBA Finals. They set out what they were supposed to do. Now, if they didn't, he leaves. Let's say they lose in the NBA Finals and he leaves. Okay, so you don't win at all, right? I disagree, because I feel like if they had done that same thing, if they didn't make the NBA Finals, or if they made the Finals and lost anyways with DeRozan still over there with the original squad, they were about to blow that team up anyways. That team had sat there, and then the front office was going to have to make some major changes. So they decided to make those major changes earlier in the season to at least give them a shot at keeping a superstar in Toronto in Kawhi Leonard. So by trading before the season started and allowing Kawhi to play the whole year and get them to this spot, at least they have a shot at keeping him. If they would have kept DeRozan and they see the same exact result where they either don't make the finals or they make the finals and they lose, they were going to get rid of everybody. They were about to blow that entire organization up. So I still feel you win the trade regardless of what happens, because even if they win the finals and Kawhi leaves, then that's still a win in my opinion, because you won the championship. You did it. You did what you set out to do. Now we can rebuild. If you win and he stays, great, you won it again. So to me, it's a win-win-win. I understand if it's a one-year rental, that sucks for the fan base, that sucks for the organization, but what an amazing season it has been, because you gave yourself a shot to keep a superstar in Toronto. Guys, that's my opinion on it. I hope you guys enjoy the NBA Finals. Stay tuned for this Friday's episode of the Game Time Guru. We're going to have a hitting expert for baseball joining the show and talking about his experience. So make sure you're subscribed. Share this with your friends and family if you are a fan of sports, or you just want to learn more about sports and you don't know too much about them, but you'd be interested. Subscribe to the show, leave me a review, share it with any friends or family that you like that might enjoy listening to podcasts. And I just appreciate the support. So, guys, check out the next episode coming out on Friday. Hope you guys enjoy the NBA Finals, and we'll talk to you next time. Guys, thanks so much for listening to another episode of my show. Now, if you could go and do me a favor, head over to iTunes, give me 5 stars, and leave me a review. It would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your support.